My aunt-in-law and cousin-in-law are perhaps the most toxic individuals I've encountered, and it's high time this dynamic duo is addressed. Today, I'm here to share a recent incident during a family gathering that left me and my partner, both 38 years old, shaken. My partner had generously bought toys for all the kids in the family, turning a joyful occasion into an unexpected ordeal. As we distributed the gifts, my cousin-in-law mockingly accused me of engaging in shady and illegal activities at the bank to afford such presents. The lump in my throat grew as everyone listened in shock. Despite the hurt, my partner and I chose to brush it off as her typical jealousy, not wanting to create a scene in the midst of family. However, as we tried to walk away, she persisted, claiming that my partner had disclosed my alleged misconduct. Suppressing my anger, I asked her to stop, emphasizing the hurtfulness and sensitivity of her words. I pointed out that I've worked hard for my success, dismissing my achievements. She continued, stating that my partner always complained about how much he hated my job. In response, my partner confronted her, expressing his wariness of her bitterness and jealousy, labeling her accusations as a new low. Her tears flowed, a reaction to being called out for her jealousy. Though some family members, including my uncle, acknowledged the inappropriateness of her comment and suggested an apology, this is where my aunt intervened, downplaying the situation. She asserted that my cousin-in-law was only kidding and that she is genuinely happy for us. A bit of context. My cousin-in-law and her husband currently live with my in-laws temporarily until he secures a better job. I work at a bank, and my partner, formerly in the military, and I have been married for nearly 14 years with 2 children. We're financially stable, own a 3-bedroom house, and have strategically planned for our future. It's evident that my cousin-in-law resents being perceived as jealous, particularly of me. However, the real source of my frustration may be misdirected. It seems my aunt consistently stirs trouble by making remarks about my cousin-in-law, fueling the toxicity between us. Cousin-in-law, a stay-at-home mom like her mother, is deeply entwined with her as her primary enabler. During a period of her marital troubles, she stayed with us, and although I welcomed her, her numerous questions about my job hinted at a brewing storm. My partner and I initially believed that my cousin-in-law, who was going through a rough patch in her marriage, was contemplating entering the workforce. To our surprise, her interest was solely to gather information from us, which she later used to embarrass us during a family gathering. Despite our attempts to engage in conversations with her, we found that some distance might be necessary. However, our efforts were met with numerous phone conversations dominated by her yelling and scrutinizing every move we made as if it were an affront to her. In an attempt to manipulate the situation, she falsely reported to our brother-in-law, uncle, and aunt that we were singling her out. She went so far as to claim that I was coming between her and my partner, a bold-faced lie considering her previous lack of interest in contacting him. Her manipulation successfully convinced my uncle that I was causing a rift, leading to strained relations and putting me in his bad books. Despite this, my partner and I chose not to share our side of the story out of respect for my cousin-in-law. Fast forward to the recent events that prompted me to share this. A few days ago, my aunt called, asking for a favor. She wanted me to fund my cousin's vacation, promising repayment once they received money from their husbands the following month. The request included covering the cost of her ticket and accommodations, while their husbands would handle food and activities. When I questioned the necessity of the vacation, my aunt attempted to guilt-trip me by insisting that my cousin-in-law deserved a break like everyone else. However, the truth is that my cousin-in-law's life has been one extended vacation, and she hardly needs a break from anything. Refusing to bear the expenses for someone who consistently caused problems, I declined the request, suggesting they'd approach their husbands directly. I explained that my partner and I were saving for a new car, as ours was old and falling apart. While I offered to provide shopping money for them, my aunt later visited, subtly hinting at the shopping trip and even requesting my credit card when I mentioned not having cash on hand. Reluctantly, I inquired about the amount she needed, and she responded with a reassuring smile, claiming she didn't have a specific figure in mind. She insisted it was only for minor purchases, nothing too extravagant. Although I mentioned discussing it with my partner before committing, she left with my card, and feeling cautious, I promptly set a $1,000 limit due to her past financial mismanagement. Her track record included an inability to secure additional credit in her name, and my sibling and I had each lent her $1,600 the previous year to help clear debts and avoid high interest on payday loans. That night, to my shock, I discovered my card was nearly maxed out. Alarmed, I informed my partner, who disclosed that his mother had asked to borrow $200 from him a week earlier. Despite a heated argument about his financial support, he reluctantly gave her the money, asserting it would be the last time. My stress intensified when I learned she had somehow found out about our substantial savings and had spent the entire limit on my card. My partner, though writing off the $200, was reluctant to confront her further. I was distressed, having worked diligently to keep our savings private, fearing she might use this information against us or guilt-trip my partner into providing more financial assistance. Before I entered the picture, my partner had been accustomed to catering to her financial needs, buying her expensive gifts, and providing money whenever she asked. We had diligently saved for a down payment on a house, considering our future, which now includes preparing for a third child. It infuriated me that, despite being aware of our circumstances, she felt entitled to $200 in cash, oblivious to the impact on her grandchild. Her expectation that her son should take care of her financially seemed to drive her overspending and lack of savings, even for retirement. Unable to obtain money from him, it appeared she had now turned to me. Regretfully, I gave her my card, only to discover she had swiped it at the airport. Frustrated, I tried contacting her, but she remained unresponsive for 7 hours. When she finally responded, she dismissed the excessive spending, attributing it to mother-daughter bonding time. An immediate call to my aunt revealed that she hadn't actually gone shopping, casually admitting the truth. Currently, I'm on vacation with Isabella and Naveed, and we'll be back in 2 days. However, my mood shifted to fury when I discovered that they had used my credit card without permission for their trip. In response, I promptly blocked my card and sought advice from a friend who was a lawyer. Together, we drafted a claim for small claims court. The situation took an amusing turn when I received a message that a $300 charge was declined due to insufficient credit on the card. Shortly after, I received a text from her flight. Despite her plea, I firmly refused, stating that it wasn't my responsibility to cover their lack of financial planning. Their attempts to reach me persisted, but I remained unresponsive. According to my partner, they had sought help from their husbands and other family members, but nobody was willing to assist. In the end, they had to return by road, an 8-hour journey. Upon their return, they discovered I had moved to a new apartment, anticipating their continued requests for financial help. My partner, unaware of the credit card's use, insisted on revealing that I had a voice recording of our previous conversation as evidence. Reluctantly, she handed over the card. When questioned about our move to a new apartment, my partner dismissed it as none of her business. She accused me of brainwashing her son, and he retorted that he needed space to focus on finding a job to support his family. As she scoffed and questioned if she had been arrested, my uncle intervened, informing them that I had filed an appalling behavior, emphasizing that her excuses did not absolve her of any wrongdoing. Despite her daughter's gifts being thoughtful, I asserted they were unnecessary and didn't excuse her actions. She retaliated by screeching about messing with her family. Fed up, I informed her that I had recorded the conversation and was giving her a couple of months to repay us. She exploded, accusing me of leaving them stranded in another city and refusing to help, even though I could have paid for their plane ticket. A change in her behavior rendered the gifts meaningless. The breaking point occurred when they refused to acknowledge our feelings about their misuse of the card, leaving us hurt and disrespected. Attempts to have an adult discussion were futile as my aunt simply walked away, wanting us to act like nothing happened. Tired of this pattern, I expressed my frustration at being treated poorly, bullied into submission, and the desire to change apartments. I admitted hating her and not wanting her in our lives. Struggling with the situation, I contemplated my next steps. Certainly, my partner and I are financially secure enough to comfortably support our family. However, adding my aunt and cousin would undoubtedly place significant financial pressure on us. Now for the update. My aunt managed to find the address of our new house, likely obtaining it from my uncle. While we hadn't explicitly told him not to disclose it to her, we were preoccupied with settling. Things became threatening. They continued their conversation, and I returned home after a few hours. My partner, who was excellent at setting boundaries, privately suggested dropping the case because, after all, it's his family. My brother-in-law and uncle want to settle things without going to court. Despite my initial desire to pursue legal action, my partner expressed hesitation, feeling immense guilt for the situation. Apparently, my aunt is making monthly payments of $250 to my partner to clear the debt, except for our destination wedding in Hawaii, where my family financially assisted her to attend. The most crucial reason for dropping the case was that it held significant importance to my partner, who believed this wouldn't happen again and preferred avoiding any potential fallout. In summary, my partner's understanding and desire to drop the case prevailed, despite my concerns about the lack of consequences for fraud. He overcame a humble upbringing and had come a long way in his life. If it means receiving small payments over time, however, I'm planning to contact the credit card company soon, providing an honest backstory and exploring potential options. This may involve transferring the debt to my aunt or seeking forgiveness altogether, considering it was acquired under false pretenses. As for the second update, we recently discovered that my aunt engaged in identity fraud 4 years ago, taking out a credit card using my partner's personal information. The card has his name, and recently, she mortgaged a $300,000 home. Discovering this information made me feel nauseous, as my partner has always portrayed financial weakness. Moreover, we suspect that not all purchases made on my partner's credit card were for my aunt. Her husband may have been spending as well. Following consultations with several attorneys, including police detectives and private investigators, the consensus is that my partner has a strong case to pursue legal action against his mother. They advise fighting alongside us, giving us hope. I appreciate the multitude of thoughts and ideas shared by the many who offered their insights and guidance. Update number 4 for those who have followed my previous posts. About 6 months ago, I faced a significant issue with my aunt stealing my partner's identity. Much has transpired since then, and I believe those who offered their support deserve an update. My partner and I went to the police station and filed a report. An experience that was ego to prison has brought relief, as the charges were removed from our report. However, concerns linger, as we anticipate her attempting to claim my partner knew about the accounts and granted permission. Some charges were related to gifts for my partner, and we worry people might believe her. My partner has now decided to sever ties with his parents, a choice I fully support. Our initial decision was to have no contact with his family, but we attended the funeral of their granddaughter, our niece, out of respect. We plan to take a private vacation next month. Any suggestions for a tropical destination that won't fry my pale skin are welcome. This mother-in-law's behavior is among the worst we've encountered, and despite being caught and confronted, she remains unapologetic. Your thoughts on this situation are appreciated. If you were in our position, would you choose to move to a new apartment and cut ties, or would you take a different approach? Let me know your thoughts. The decision to sever ties with my partner's parents has brought a mix of emotions. The private vacation we planned served as a much-needed escape from the tumultuous situation. We chose a serene tropical destination that provided the perfect backdrop for reflection and healing. The lush beaches and calming waves offered a respite from the storm of family drama. During our time away, my partner and I engaged in deep conversations about our future and the impact of cutting ties with his parents. It wasn't an easy decision, but the toxic dynamics had taken a toll on our mental and emotional well-being. The support and understanding we found in each other strengthened our resolve to move forward without the burden of constant manipulation and drama. Upon our return, we faced the reality of our decision. The absence of contact with my partner's parents brought both relief and sadness. We had chosen our mental health and peace of mind over the toxic relationships that had plagued us for so long. However, the void left by the absence of family connections was palpable. Our decision to move to a new apartment, a fresh start symbolizing our independence, was a crucial step in reclaiming control over our lives. The new environment provided a sense of freedom from the toxic influences that had infiltrated our previous living space. It marked the beginning of a chapter focused on building our family unit without the constant interference and negativity. As we settled into our new surroundings, we were conscious of the challenges that lay ahead. Rebuilding our lives without the support of extended family meant relying on each other and the close friends who had stood by us during the tumultuous times. We found solace in the fact that our decision to cut ties was a collective one, based on mutual understanding and a shared vision for a healthier, happier future. The aftermath of the identity fraud and financial deceit perpetrated by my partner's mother required careful handling. We proceeded with contacting the credit card company, providing a detailed account of the situation, and exploring options to mitigate the impact on our financial standing. The process was intricate, involving discussions with legal professionals to ensure that our actions align with the law. The discovery of the identity fraud opened a new chapter in our dealings with my partner's mother. Legal consultations suggested that pursuing legal action against her was a viable option. However, the intricacies of such a process required careful consideration, as the potential fallout could extend beyond financial implications. Balancing justice with the desire to move forward without unnecessary legal battles became a crucial aspect of our decision-making process. Amidst these challenges, we found strength in the support of friends who had been through similar family struggles. Sharing experiences and insights provided valuable perspectives, reinforcing our belief that prioritizing our well-being was the right path. The decision to focus on our immediate family unit, free from the toxicity that had plagued us, remained a guiding principle. As we navigated this complex journey, we recognized the importance of self-care and mental health. Seeking therapy and counseling became integral to our healing process, allowing us to address the emotional scars left by years of manipulation and deceit. The therapeutic journey brought clarity and understanding, enabling us to set healthy boundaries and redefine our sense of family. The decision to sever ties with my partner's parents was not without its challenges, but it marked a significant turning point in our lives. We embraced the opportunity to create a new narrative, one centered around love, trust, and mutual respect. The journey ahead was uncertain, but the strength we found within ourselves and the support of those who truly cared guided us towards a brighter, healthier future.